Welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to make a really fun card. We're going to be using our Misti, and we're going to be using some other cool techniques. We're going to be using texture paste. It's going to be a whirlwind of fun. We are going to start out, I started mixing up a little bit of, this is Martha Stewart Stucco effect. Hope you can see that. And I like hers because it really has good substance, and I've had good luck with it. And then I'm going to add to it, I already added a couple drops of Smokey Slate reinker, and I'm going to put a little bit more in it because I want a darker look. The card that I'm basing it on was a card that I made a couple days ago that I really liked, which is this one, but I thought it'd be really fun if we made the card cut into, I don't know if you can see that, cut into the circle, cut into the card, basically. And then I thought it would be fun if we didn't just do texture paste, but we also added a little mica to it to see if we could make it glimmery. And so that's what we're going to do. I wanted it to be darker because the glimmer, I'm going to put this underneath my little pad from the Dollar Tree because it'll get all over, and I know it will. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of the mica in there. Let me just use a little scooper for that. That ought to do it. Put the lid back on it. I've blown that stuff everywhere because I'm, you know, right on top of my game when I have anything open. And the other reason that I put as many drops of reinker into it is because I knew that that mica would kind of dry this paste out, and I want it to have the glimmer, but I also don't want it to be really dry, really super dry. I don't see the glimmer in it yet. Maybe when it dries we will. Maybe I need a little more. Oh, you know, when in doubt, put more in. My technique for everything. Put more in when in doubt. It's not for the faint of heart, crafting, is it? Okay. So, here is, oh, now it looks much, much more glittery. That's the number we wanted. A lot. We wanted a crap load. Oops. And the stencil we're going to use is a snowflake one. But I'm going to just put it around the edges of the circle. At least that's the plan. Plans are always subject to change, as you know. And I wanted it to have a little bit of darkness to it just because I didn't want it to come out looking like cement. Sure, you can imagine how pretty that would have been. And I think I'm going to push our little project up a little bit so hopefully you can see it better. I think we're going to just use this little snowflake because the other snowflakes are, when I practiced with them, they seem like they were just too big. If you've never used this kind of paste before, all you do is you put it over your stencil, and this is a brass stencil from Stampin Up that I'm sure is discontinued, but it is it's brass, so it really is easy to work with, and it holds up well to the paste, which is good because I make a big mess, as you know. I'm a messy girl. Okay, I want to wipe that, and then the goal obviously is to wipe it off completely once you've got, you want your surface basically to be flat. So we scraped off that one. Now I'm going to ease it off. Look how cute! Isn't it cute? Okay, so then we're going to put that same stencil down there. Second verse, same as the first. Your stencil needs to be clean because you get debris on it and under it, and we don't want that. The nice thing about this is that I cut my circle out with this EK Success tool that I really like, and I mean, I don't have a Cricut, and I was just telling one of my girlfriends that I'm throwing my Cuttlebug, Big Shot, whatever. I'm throwing in the towel on that. I tried to use it yesterday, and what I realize is that I am not competent with turning that crank. It's just too cumbersome for me to do, and I could have, didn't gotten an electric one, as I said before, and that would have made a world of difference if I'd have started out with an electric one, because I just don't have the strength to crank that crank. So I really want to emboss, I really want to cut, I just don't want to do anything that's computerized. I don't know, if one of you has a machine that you love that works for someone who's a little bit physically inept, then let me know, because I would love to have a machine that makes me feel like I'm on top of my game with crafting. But right now I just feel like I'm so far outside of what everybody else is doing, because I just don't want to do the things that I don't want to do it. So I just need maybe guidance from somebody who has played around with all of them and knows which one is the greatest one and can vouch for it and tell me why that one over other ones. Because, you know, again, if you don't have any physical limitations, you don't understand that the Cuttlebug and the Cricut or the Cuttlebug and the Big Shot are cumbersome tools. But if you do have those problems like I do, then you understand what I'm talking about, and it's frustrating because you want to use the same tools as everybody else, you just can't. And so I just want somebody to help me to find my groove when it comes to finding one of those that works for me. I just want to be, it's not like I'm saying I want to be like everybody else. That's certainly not the case. I know I'm not like everybody else. I just want to have the tools that work for everybody else, but that are equipped for someone like me. I'm sorry I have the sniffles a little bit. My husband has a cold, and darn Rich is trying to share it. He's a very giving guy. That's another thing. This embossing paste stuff is so addicting. Once you start playing with this stuff, you just want to play with it all the time. It's so much fun. We're going to play with the Misti now. Move that out of the way just so it has a little bit of a time to dry. Oh, if you're using any kind of stencil, it's really important when you're using these pastes, or the texturing pastes, that you not only wipe your surface off, but also, more importantly, that any of your tools, that you get your tools into a water bath right away, and your stencil as well. Your stencil really needs to be cleaned off, because this stuff is not the easiest stuff to get off. If you don't have a Misti, this is what the Misti looks like. I'm not sure, I don't know anything about the Sweet Petunia people that made the Misti, but what I think was that they just thought it would be a really nice tool to be able to re-stamp images and to make consistency in stamping, which is really a good idea. But what I don't think she thought about was the sideline of people like me that really struggle, especially with the clear acrylic stamps. They're so difficult for me to have any kind of consistency with. So I really wanted to make sure that when I did this video with you guys, that you saw just exactly how easy this is to use, and also that you realize that this is not just a tool for the average woman. It's a tool for everyone like us. So if you are in any way challenged and you want a tool that will work for you, this could be the tool for you. This is a rubbernecker stamp, It is called Birch Trees, and here it is. I put it on this card a couple days ago. I really thought it looked cute. What I was trying to do with this is to really pop it up high so that you can see how see the difference in the dimension, but also when I did that, it really made it look like the trees were even further back in. I thought that was just so neat. So I really do like that card. You want to make sure that when you're doing anything with your Misti that you put your stamp exactly where you want it. Now in this case, I want it in the middle of the card. Okay, so what I decided I was going to do is I have some little boo-boos from my embossing paste, and I took the time to heat emboss it, or use my heat gun on it and just heat it up. And I dried it. So now what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put some little snowflake stamps in Smokey Slate with the metallic around where my images, where I had the little problems. And then all you need to do is we just are going to reposition them to where we want them next. Whenever you have a boo-boo, it's always more fun to just try and figure out a way to fix it rather than scrap the project. I know you all agree with that too, because what's the point of scrapping a project just because you made a little mistake on it? And the Misti is perfect for that. This really is a great tool for just about anything, but especially for people who have a little bit of problem with agility, or with just in general, just with strength. I think it definitely is a great tool for people like us, and I recommend it very highly. It is worth the money. For those of you who doubt that, I'm not sure, if you don't have the physical limitations, maybe it isn't worth it. But if you watch those YouTube videos, there are so many uses for this. The point of the Misti really is it's a tool, and some tools everybody needs, some tools only some people need. But if you are in doubt and you have any kind of real physical handicaps or strength problems, I would really think you should at least try one out. Play with it and see if you can find the part of it that works just specifically for your needs, because everybody's different and everybody has a different reason that they would maybe want one of these. And as you can see, it's so easy to move things around. Like I'm just moving these everywhere I need them to be, and it's taken me seconds, literally seconds, to move it. Okay, now you can see I've gotten a lot of ink and things on the back of my card, but I don't care. I'm going to line the back of my card anyway. Another thing I did with this that I don't normally do it, but in this case I wasn't sure how else I was going to be able to make my project work. I cut my stamp in half. I cut my sentiment apart because I could not get it to fit on my card the way it was. And now I'm going to ink it up. But you saw how slick that was. I mean, this is just the coolest thing. When you have a tool that will do all this and make it so that your life is so much easier. This is the first time I've used this stamp set, so sometimes they get a little weird. You know how that goes. How the first time you stamp, Lindsay the Frugal Crafter always says what you should do is run an eraser, I think she says, no, an emery board over it to make them so that the first time you use them that they work well. And I didn't do that with these because they're a good stamp set. They're from Simon Says Stamp, and I think they are called Handlettered Winter Wishes. And this is the stamp set. I like it because it's got the handwriting from Christina Werner, and I think she's got really beautiful handwriting. And that's the whole reason I bought this stamp set, was because of the writing. I think we're done with our Misti. If you have any more questions about the Misti, please email me and I'll be glad to answer it. And if I don't know, I could always find the answer. You've seen all of what I've done, but I got this paper that is kind of, I made it distressed in the edges because I thought it went with the look of my card. And I'm just going to tape my sentiment, hopefully, to it. I'll do it on this. Close enough. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and I'm going to center it. The goal is that our trees are in the opening. And what I was going to do is I was going to run a layer of gray around that, and I still might do that. I've been playing with this EK Success circle maker, and it's fun, and I've had some pretty good results with it. But I also have a circle maker from Martha Stewart that I got originally thinking that it would work best for a project like this. I like how my edges are kind of distressed. I like that. Looks good. I have this Martha Stewart. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these. You probably have. But what you do is you pick the size of your the thing you want to cut. And in my case, my circle is a little bit over 3 inches. Not too bad of a cut. For Sandy, that's pretty good. Then what I'm going to do is have to figure out where I want to cut it or where I want to attach it. You're going to is to tie the bow. I like a little bigger bow when I'm trying to offset a mess I've made. There. So inside it says thinking of you, and we made it so it's a little bit distressed. And then in the outside we put this the gray in the inner part of the circle, and I think it really came out pretty. And all I have to do now is put my little stamp on the back, because I made this for you. So this was our Misti tutorial. I made this for you. It was our Misti tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it. I think the Misti is a really great tool, and if you like this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I really enjoyed making this card. I think it's lots of fun, and try that embossing paste. I think you'll really like it. It's lots of fun. And the EK Success tool that cuts the circles, and the Martha Stewart one that cuts the circles, they're lots of fun too. So this is a great card, and I hope you all try and make it. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.